daughter.
Yes, you can talk! There must be so much you want to say to me.
I like the sound of my own voice.
You're my dad, all right.
Alrighty, so jumping right in with Spellbound, what was it for the two of you that had you like, yes, I absolutely must be a part of this project?
Him.
Well, I don't know. I was available. It's so far back. I don't even remember. I do remember we were showing up in masks. So that's how far back. It just seemed like a fun project. I'd never worked with Alan Menken, and just everyone involved sounded, top notch, and I thought it would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. If you see his name on the score, you should do it.
Absolutely. I want to kind of jump off of that a little bit. So I know with recording animation, it can be very solitary. And Nathan, you said you were all showing up in masks, so more of a lockdown era. But because Ludo and Sunny have such a bantery dynamic, I was wondering if the two of you had that opportunity to kind of play with it either in a recording booth or beforehand, or kind of establish that rapport.
What you're seeing here is the first time we've met.
Yeah.
Today is the first day that we met. We did not record together, and
not even virtually.
Not even virtually.
Yeah.
They kept threatening to put us together, but I guess it was just so explosive too. It was too frightening, the thought of having us in the same booth. It would be too much. Just too much.
So just comedic chaos that they were like, we need to put the lid on that beforehand.
Comedic chaos. There's a quote. Comedic chaos.
So with the two of you having experience in animation prior to this, I'm curious if there was anything, maybe the pandemic presented a new challenge, maybe it was more straightforward, but if there was anything that was unexpectedly challenging or alternatively unexpectedly extremely smooth in the process.
I mean, you certainly have to rely on the text to find your North Star. And then, you delve into what you think the relationship is off the page with him. And I certainly had great respect for Nathan for a very, very, very long time. And, that sort of the joy and the glee of being opposite him in any capacity sort of guided me in terms of how I moved Sunny along. But, because we do it separately, you have very little to rely on.
I'm going to be honest with you. Okay? So in these situations, I look at this stuff and I go, my job, I don't care about plot. I don't care about your story. I don't care what message I just want to make it as funny as possible. I want people to like go, oh, that was really when those two guys came on. That's all I cared about. So I improvised a great deal. I wrote jokes for it, and very little made it into the film. Because I guess they wanted to keep a G rating. But that's what I cared about, is making it as funny as possible. And especially when you're playing a 3-foot-tall, 350-pound blue person who lives in a forest.
Who travels on a frog.
Yeah, I'm not delving into his childhood. This is about how do we make this as funny as possible while serving what they've written. And so that's what interests me. If you're going to be the comic relief, relieve them.
Yeah, sure. Very good.
So you both mentioned getting the chance to work with Alan Menken, and Nathan, you said you hadn't before. So I was wondering if you could talk a bit about that experience and what that was like for the two of you.
Well, I had worked with Alan 16 years ago in The Little Mermaid. I played Sebastian the Crab in Little Mermaid. And while that score predates me, or that song at least, working with him was pretty extraordinary. He doesn't lead with ego, which he could. And he's very generous. And even with this, I found, we explored keys that were appropriate. We explored text, and Glenn Slater, who also did additional lyrics for The Little Mermaid and wrote the lyrics on this. They're both just so casual about their genius, which makes it inviting and not intimidating, I find.
Yeah, I had never worked with Alan, so he literally was there. He was there when I recorded my stuff the first time, the song, and this is an old story, it's not that long, but way back when he had written Little Shop of Horrors, and it was a little off-Broadway musical, I had auditioned for it, and then it had come down, as they've told me, it had come down to either me or Lee Wilkoff, who eventually did play Seymour brilliantly. And he and I were friends, by the way. And so Howard Ashman apparently wanted me, and Alan wanted Lee, and Howard Ashman's assistant was a woman named Connie Grappo, who eventually became Lee Wilkoff's wife to this day. And so she was pushing him to hire Lee, which he eventually did. And so that was my only time, that I might have worked with Alan, and then until I did this film, and it was lovely to finally, because he's a legend now. So
are you.
Yes, it's true. I'm speaking to two legends right now.
Oh
dear.
Thank you.
But thank you all so much for your time, and congratulations on the movie. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.